Stringify. Stringify is a convenience function that will help you convert a JavaScript object into a string. Now, JavaScript object means JSON. So JSON also provides you a stringify function, but here basically it is giving you a beautified form of stringify. Beautified means it will have some spacing, prettified or beautified string representation. So you get that through this. And also, if your object has functions, normally JSON will not persist that when you stringify a JSON which has properties that is actually function, that will not be retained. Here, we transform the functions also into of its own, which is reversible. So that's a bonus of this stringify. So if your object has general attributes, basic data types, as well as a function, it will transform them in such a way that you can retrieve it back. Now, this is very useful because in many cases right now we are typing in function logic, and those are basically transformed. It has to be retained. It cannot be lost, and then it needs to be reproduced. So we always use the stringify of common and not use the JSON's standard stringify. So we always use api.common.stringify and api.common.parse. Now, there are two parse functions on JSON objects. One is parse and one is safe parse. The difference between these two are simple. So actual parsing is done in parse function, but here it may throw errors for invalid inputs. Now, in some cases, you are just wanting to attempt a parse because you are not sure, you can use safe parse. So many situation I use safe parse. For example, if you have passed an undefined thing and it is creating problem, or if you have a ill-formed JSON string that you are passing, then those will lead to error. Now, if you just don't want to, you are just trying to verify if this given string is actually a object or not, JSON object or not. So in those cases, you can basically call safe parse. It will attempt the parsing, and if it was done properly, it will give you that object. Otherwise, it will give you back the same string. So let's say parse is only a convenience. Parse function is actually used internally. You will rarely use that. I have never used it outside this, but it is used within the function here. Parse for anything which is equivalent to a function, or a function was serialized. To reverse that into a function, we use parse fn. Copy. Now, when you have to do a copy of one object into another, we use the spread operator, right? Dot, dot, dot. We use 3 dots to duplicate the object. But sometimes it doesn't create a deep copy. Now, for that, we actually use this copy function. We can use the regular spread operator as well. So now a few more convenience functions. Instance of is something that is that we can check, and it is basically doing a check on the type. Shuffle. Now, if you want to just randomly shuffle a array, you can use this function. Get unique key. Now, this is used quite often. api.common.get unique key is used quite often. So you just want to have a randomly created UUID, universally unique ID, right? UUID. You can do that here, and you can specify a prefix of your choice by passing the parameter. Parameter is optional, but if you pass, it will be used as a prefix in that UUID. So it will generate a random number, and it will be prefixed by your input or field as a prefix.